Hi everyone, welcome to a new episode of Video Update. And today I want to talk about the TV show called ALF. ALF comes out in 1986 till 1990. And it was 104 episodes. And they have two pilots, one that aired on TV and one that didn't. And first, I want to say rest in peace to Max Wright and Benji Gregory and Mihaly Michu Messaros. Rest in peace to you three. Well, you know that Benji Gregory played the little son called Brian Tanner. And Max Wright plays the father called Willie. And Ann Sheeden plays Kate Tanner, and Andrea Elson plays Lynn Tanner. And we have Liz Sheridan, who plays the neighbor, Raquel Akmonik. And we have Ann Miara, who plays Dorothy Halligan, Kate's mother in the show. And we have also many other characters from TV show ALF. Some have passed away. Some of the characters has passed away through the years. So rest in peace to you all that have passed away, that played in the TV show ALF. Well, ALF, was played by two people. One of them was Mihaly Mishu Messaros, that played ALF first. And then ALF was played by the other character called Paul Fusco, also later on, Well, they have two pilots, one that aired on TV and one that didn't. So if you have the box set of season 1, you can see the pilot that didn't air. No, didn't air on TV. Yeah. You can see that on the last DVD with the last episode of season 1 as a bonus. And that's on if you buy them separately. I don't know if it's on the huge box set, with all the seasons in it, all the 4 seasons and the cartoon, the animated show, I don't know if it's in there, but if you buy it separately, you will get the pilot that didn't air. And on the first disc on season 1, you will get the pilot that aired on TV. Yeah. Well, it opens up with the Tanners. Yeah, they're going out into the garage. Willie and Kate are the parents, and Brian and Lynn are the children. Go out to the garage, and you know that Willie have this radio that he can talk to different people. Well, just like the radios you hear in, Convoy, the movie Convoy, when they are in the trailer, you see Chris Christopherson talks into the radio. This is the Robodoc. Yeah, just like that, he has a radio in the garage. And he tries to communicate with other people in different countries or different places. But then they got a Mayday message. And then before they knew it, boom, to the garage. A spaceship. No, it's not Doctor Who, if you're wondering. No. It's not Doctor Who. And they see in the window, the round window, a brown-looking creature. So they take that creature into the house, lying on the table, and they're looking at it, and they're talking about it, and the alien wakes up and talks to them, and they get very surprised when the alien talks back to them. And that they didn't know that his name is Gordon Shumway. No. So they call him ALF. ALF is stand for another life form. He's from planet Melmac. And the planet where Superman lives explode to a million pieces. Yeah, Melmac explode also to million zillion pieces. So everyone on planet Melmac have to escape. Well, some did, but his parents, I don't know, but some of them did escape. But I don't know if everyone got out before the planet go bluey. So they got to know Alf in the first episode. And also you see one scene, you see that Alf is looking out the window in the bath, in bathroom, looking out the window, and you see the neighbor next door, Raquel Akmonik. She's looking outside as well, out the window, and she gets very surprised when she sees the elf in the next window. That scene is awesome, funny. And also when you see Alf is lying on the bed and you see Kate, she's asleep. And when she wakes up, she looks straight at Alf. And she gets surprised and starts screaming. It's a funny moment there. Also, you see that Brian. Brian, he gets very friendly with Alf and learn Alf different things. And Alf is from another planet, and he don't know. No, he don't know anything about what they do on planet Earth. No, it's new to him. Yeah. So he has problems to get to do Earth things because he don't know them. So when he lives with the Tanners, you see that Alf is learning different things about Earth, humans, on planet Earth. and and also the Tanners, the Tanners, they learn everything about Alf, where he's from, uh, what his name is, Gordon Shumway, and how many brothers or sisters, and his parents, and so the pilot, the first episode of the pilot, the first episode was awesome, amazing, was funny. Yeah. And you also see the neighbors, Achmonics, they come into the Tanner house and they are curious about what happens in that house, and then the Tanner say, Alf, go to the kitchen. Alf, go to the bathroom. Alf, go in the attic. Oh, Alf, go to the garage. Yeah, so Alf, must hide. Yeah, he must hide from everyone. The Air Force, the military Air Force, they shows up, and other people of the Tanner family. Yeah, they don't know about Alf, especially Kate's mother. Yeah, she don't know Alf. But there's one episode that she gets to know Alf, but she thought that Alf was her husband, late husband that died. So Alf have to pretend to be her husband in the dream because she thought she was dreaming. And well, later on she gets to know Alf, and then she knew that it wasn't a dream. No. And Alf didn't like Kate's mother. No. Kate's mother and Alf have an issue. Yeah. Because they can't stand each other. But the Tanners wants Alf and Kate's mother to get along. But, Alf and Kate's mother don't get along, even if they try hard. So there are an episode that you see Kate's mother moving in to the Tanners and live in their house for a while till she gets a place of her own. And then she falls in love with this guy that works in this building where she lives. And afterwards, sometime afterwards, she gets married to that guy. Yeah. And also, Willie's brother, yeah, he also get to know Alf. And that's a little bit later on in season 3 or season 4, I think. So Alf, TV show Alf, I grew up with this show in the 80s. When Alf was released back in 1986, I was around 9 years, almost 9 years back then. But we here in Norway, we didn't see Alf until 1987, I think, when it aired on the Norwegian channel and NRK. Yeah, that's one of the Norwegian channels we have here in Norway, and we have that channel for many years now. So they shown Alf in 1987. And they probably showed 1 or 2 seasons with Alf, but I didn't watch the entire show until the 90s when it aired on TV3. Yeah, TV3. And then I saw all episodes, all the seasons, 4 seasons. But there's one thing I didn't like about the show, and I'm gonna tell you about that later on in this video. What I didn't like. Um, there's an episode where Alf is obsessed with this TV show called Gilligan's Island. He's obsessed. He wants to see every episode, and he thinks that, on Gilligan's Island everything is nice, sweet, fine. So, and he wants to build a lagoon in the backyard. So he talks to the Tanners about it, and the Tanners say, you can build a little tiny lagoon, a little tiny. But Alf misunderstood. You guess what he did? He built a huge lagoon in the backyard. And Willie is coming out and he falls down into the lagoon. Yeah. And he was mad, angry, upset with Alf and tells Alf to fix the lagoon and the backyard as it was. Because the Tanners don't want a big lagoon in their backyard. So Willie tells Alf to fix the backyard as it was. And that Alf starts fixing it, and he was tired, and he wants to take a nap, and he starts dreaming. Yeah, and then he hear some voices that he knows. Oh, I recognize those voices. And he looks at that where the voices come from. He saw the Gilligan and the captain. And then he knows, I'm at Gilligan's Island, And he gets to know them, the Gilligan and the captain and the rest. And he thought that the life on that island was good, much better as in the Tanners, But it wasn't. You know that the people that are stuck on that island for many years wants to get rescued because they want to go home. But there's one there that ruins it every time. Gilligan, yeah, he finds a way to ruin it all the time. So that's why they haven't left the island yet. The professor, the professor tries to build a boat or some a boat or a plane or whatever to help them to get off the island. But Gilligan ruins it every time. So they are stuck on that island. And but this time is in the 80s. Yeah, And he saw Gilligan, the captain, Ginger, the professor, and yeah, that's about it. But where's the other people that were there? Maybe they are on the other side of the island, maybe. So then there were dinner. And they want to eat other food. But they have to eat the same food all over again. And they are sick and tired of it, to eat the same thing. And because that's the food they have on the island, And then you see that they have a TV, and the professor says, "Oh, I tried to make a VCR, but Gilligan's ruined that as well." So they are watching their favorite show, Life. Yeah, Life with the Tanners. Yeah, just the Tanners that Alf is living with: Willie, Brian, Lynn, and Kate. Yeah. So Alf get surprised when they are watching the Tanners. So and then Willie says something on the TV till Alf, and you see that Alf is saying something, and then he woke up, and then everything is back to normal in the real life. So also one of the episodes in season 3, I think, the third season, I think, Alf meets Gilligan. Yeah, it's a crossover episode. And also there's Christmas episode. The two parts. Well, you see that Alf and the Tanners are going on this trip to a cabin that they have borrowed from this guy. Yeah, and well, that Alf has a problem to find out anything about human things. Mm. So he brings the um, TV. He brings the you know and he brings the microwave and all the electricity machines from home. From the Tanner's home. And he thinks that, oh, I can use them in the cabin, watch TV and make some dinner in the microwave, and. But when he gets there, Willie tells him, oh, there's no electricity here. And then Alf get very upset. Oh, I can't use the TV. I can't use the microwave, and then a little bit later on, you know that Alf is changing those tags on the Christmas presents. So, the Tanners gets very upset and mad and angry about that till Alf. So they have a little fight there. And, also Alf brings this poison ivy and he gives that to, Willie. And then Willie gets mad and he throwing Alf out. Yeah. And before that, he tells a little story about things. So Alf goes out, and then Mr. Mosby. Yeah, I think that's his name is the guy that owns the cabin comes and talks to them, and he mentioned that he giving some toys to the Santa Claus at the hospital. So Alf goes into the car, the van, and he finds all these toys, and he thinks that these toys are alien toys. It look like, oh, this is a spaceship, the football. You think that's a spaceship, and. So and then the guy, Mr. Mosby, I think his name is. Uh, After he talks to the Tanners, he goes into the car, the van, and drives away to the hospital. And Alf, well, he must sit still, pretend to be a doll. So, Alf is sitting there on this um, saying that he has all the gifts, the presents on, and this with, yeah, you know what I mean. And he gave away this gift to the kids, the children at the hospital. And there's a girl there named Tiffany, and she saw this huge looking character sitting there. And the guy, Mr. Mosby, says that, oh, you can choose. Do you want the little doll, the princess looking doll, or do you want this guy? So Tiffany chose Alf instead. But she give Alf a new name, Amanda. You know, well, she thinks that Alf is a girl. Yeah. Mr. Mosby brings Alf into the room where Tiffany is and put him on the second bed. And Tiffany says to Alf, "Oh, there used to be another girl there, but not anymore." And she gave Alf some cookies that she has made, and Alf eats all the cookies. And also, Amanda thinks that Alf likes the same band or artists that she does. And then, earrings. She wants to put some earrings on Alf. Then Alf draw the line. I'm not a girl, I'm a boy, and talks to Tiffany. And Tiffany wants to go and tell the people that works there. But Alf say no. And he tells Tiffany everything. Yeah. Well, that Christmas episode, you see also Alf is in the elevator. And there's this woman that is pregnant. And you hear that Alf has to pretend to be a doctor from Melmac institution, hospital called Melmac. I have a huge tennis match coming up, you know. And Alf tries to help this woman, but first up, she's screaming because she sees Alf comes up. And then Alf say, "Oh, you just said that already." And Alf helps this woman, and bring her daughter to the world. She has a little girl, and then Alf say, "Oh, why can't you call your baby? Give her my name." "Oh, Gordon, that's unusual for a little girl." "Oh, then you can call her Tiffany." "Oh, Tiffany. That's a nice name." So the lady that's were stuck in the elevator, called her daughter Tiffany. And later on you hear that Mr. Mosby is talking to the guy that works in this hospital, one of the doctors or bosses at the hospital, and he tells Mr. Mosby, what can you do for a child that will not survive her second Christmas? Because Tiffany, the girl, in that episode, she is dying. Yeah. And Alf didn't know that until he heard that conversation that Mr. Mosby and this guy in the hospital had. And then you see a tear on Alf's cheek here. that episode is a good and it's awesome, amazing episode. Well, it's a little emotional in there, and it's also funny. Yeah, well, I like that episode because that episode is one of my favorite episodes of all time. Yeah. And also I don't care what people say about this episode. No. I like it. I love it. I have watched this episode millions of times through the years. Yeah. And I love this episode because there's something in this episode that you have to know. Yeah. Well, it's not about ALF and his problems and issues with the Tanners. No, it's not about that. It's about, a dying child. Remember this. Well, it could be your child. Yeah, your daughter or your son that's in the hospital dying. Yeah, remember that. Next time you're seeing this episode, it could be one of your children that lies in there with the same disease that Tiffany had. Yeah. But people that saw this episode, they think differently. Oh, this episode, it isn't good, it's bad, it's rubbish, terrible, and because they don't know a thing. No, they think that this Christmas episode is about Christmas and it's about Elf and it's only about the issue and problem Elf have with the Tanner, and no, it's a message. Yeah, it's a message to all the people in the world that have dying children. It could be your children that are in the hospital with the same disease that this girl have and lies there. Yeah, and also are dying. And then your children celebrate their last Christmas because they can't celebrate Christmas anymore because they're dead. Yeah. So remember that next time you are watching this episode, the Christmas episode. Yeah. This is a message. So if you don't understand the message of this episode, then you have a problem. Also there's an episode when you see that Elf gets to know some old people. Yeah, old people in this old place. Because Elf is very obsessed with this actress that he saw on TV. Well, because he's seen some of her movies and he's a huge fan of this lady, and he finds out that she's on this retiree home, and he wants to go there, but the Tanners say no because the Tanners want to protect Elf because if some of the people see him, they will call the military task force, But Elf goes there anyway. He finds a way to go to the retiree home, get to know the old people. And also, they have a little fun on the roof, looking at the stars. They also dance. Yeah, they put on some music and they dance and have fun. You know, that episode also is a nice episode. It's a good episode. And that Elf, the TV show, had problems. You know, when they played Alf in the studio, and they have a hole in the floor where the puppeteer that steer Alf, stands, Paul Fusco. Yeah. And you see that they have to take the scene all over again. But the other actors and actresses that played in the TV show Alf have some problems with that. Yeah, because they don't want to create the same scene, because sometimes it went wrong. So they have to do the scene all over again. Yeah. So some of the actors and actors had a problem with that. I heard, yeah. And well, Alf is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. Yeah. Um. So rest in peace to Benji Gregg that plays Brian, and rest in peace to Max Wright that plays Willie, and the other guy that plays Alf in the beginning. Rest in peace to you three, and other cast members that have passed away through the years. Um, Also, there's one thing I didn't like about the show is that in the end, when I saw all the seasons on the TV in the 90s on TV3, I thought that, oh, season 5 is going to come the next day. But it didn't. And here's what I didn't like. I didn't like when the TV show was set on a cliffhanger. You know, at the end, you see that Alf is saying goodbye to the Tanners because he wants to go home with the Skip and Rhonda that contacted him at the end of that episode, the last episode. So the Tanners brings him to this playground, and the alien task force, the military and the police and everything comes, and they get Alf. And then it stands to be continued. I didn't like that. No. It ended with a cliffhanger. Because, NBC, yeah, they are cheap. Oh, we don't want to create season 5. No, we're going to let it end with a cliffhanger. And every children that was fan of the show, yeah, they start wondering, oh, next, maybe it's season 5. Yeah, I can't wait to see how it ends. No, it wasn't a season 5. It was only 4 seasons. Yeah. And a couple of years later, I believe in '96, I think, then they released a movie called Project ALF. I heard that that movie had some problems and issues as well because it wasn't good, you know. So, NBC, shame on you. Yeah. Shame on you, NBC, that did this to the children that was a fan of the show. Yeah. I am almost in my 50s. Yeah. And I love Alf. I love the TV show. Yeah, I love it. I grew up with the show back in the 80s when I was 9 or 10 years old. So I still do. I still love the show. But I didn't like when it ended on a cliffhanger. No, I didn't. Um, that Benji, Ben, the guy who plays yeah, that guy, Benji Gregory, who played Brian Tanner. Yeah, he passed away in 2024. And, you know, Max Wright, who plays Willie Tanner, the father, passed away in 2019. So rest in peace to you. Um, so ALF was released on September, no, 22 of September 1986. And the last date of that show, between 22nd of September 1986 till March 24 of March 1990. And an episode called Consider Me Gone. Alf hears from his friends Skip and Rhonda, who have established the colony of New Melmac and invite Alf to live with them. But when the Air Force Alien Task Force finally captured Alf, as he is about to depart Earth, is all hope lost? And that's where it ends. Couple of years later, Project ALF. Then you see ALF was transported to this military task force base. Yeah. But without the Tanners. No. Brian, Lynn, Willie, and Kate. No. They aren't in that movie at all. So why aren't they in that movie? Who knows? But ALF also released an animated show. Yeah, two animated shows. One of them is called The Tales of Alf's Tales, that are with some classic stories. Cinderella and Snow White, and those classic shows. And the Red Riding Hood, and the pigs, Three Little Pigs, and some other classic stories in there. That was Alf Tales. And then we have Alf Animated Series that take place on Melmac. And you see Alf as Gordon Shumway, his life on Melmac before he have to leave and go crash landed on planet Earth. And he lives there with his family, with his brother, with his little brother, with his little sister, and his parents, and they have a bird, and they have this dog, a creature look like a dog, And he has two friends, Skip, and I don't remember his other friend's name, But in this box set where you get all the 4 seasons and the animated shows, if you buy the the box set with all the 4 seasons of the live action show and the 2 seasons of the animated show, you will get that in the box set. And also in that box set you can get Project ALF, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So why NBC did this Well, it could be they didn't have the money. Oh, we don't have the money to create season 5. Or we don't want to create season 5 because we are sick and tired of this show. Yeah. Shame on you, NBC. Shame on you. Just like what BBC did with Doctor Who. Yeah. They destroyed some of the episodes and deleted some of the episodes of Doctor Who. Yeah. So BBC and NBC, shame on you both. Yeah, shame on you. Well, it could be a season 5. It could happen. But it's a little difficult to create season 5 because, some of the cast members from the old days, back in the day, are gone because they're passed away through the years. Max Wright, Benji Gregory, and some of the other cast, they are passed away. So it's a little difficult to create season 5. Yeah. So you have to build a time machine and go back in time if you're going to create season 5. Yeah. So we have to be patient and with Project ALF. That's what we got. A movie instead of season 5. So we have to accept that. Yeah. Well, that's it for now. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. And as the fourth Doctor used to say, do you want a jelly baby? And hashtag Gordon Shumway. Hashtag Gordon Shumway. Yeah.